Hey folks, H2 here, and you're on the F3 channel. Hey, I appreciate you joining me here today to talk about a few things, particularly real estate, because you know that's my favorite subject. And so I was cruising around on the news feed today and saw an article talking about how hot the real estate market is, and if you're not tracking the real estate market, the inventory is low, which is driving up prices. And so the average price in this particular area in the DMV have increased about 5% over the in 2016. And so that is a very juicy price increase, and subsequently rental rates have gone up, and it is becoming ever more difficult for people to get affordable housing. As a matter of fact, they're talking about in some areas and for some parts of the population, they're paying upwards of 50% of their income on their housing cost. And that is a tough spot to be in, because it is, when you're paying 50% just for housing, it's virtually impossible to dig your way out of that. Unless you make a quantum leap in income, you're not going to get out of that. So, what are people going to do in order to get ahead in this kind of a market? Well, they're probably going to have to sit tight for a bit. But there are a few strategies out there that a person can employ in order to combat this runaway price scale here, and that is, you may have to get a roommate. You may have to get a couple different roommates to help defray the cost. Now, that becomes difficult if you got a family, because only so many of you can get in a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. And so in that scenario, what you're going to have to do is you may have to relocate to a cheaper area. So you're really going to have to evaluate where you are, what are the wages, and what are the costs of living, because it's not the same everywhere, but you got to have a better balance whereby what you're making is in line with the cost of living. So I just want to encourage you, if your budget is tight, do what you can in the short term, but start making a plan of how you're going to get ahead of the game going forward. All right. So, not likely that the pressure in the real estate and housing market is going to let up anytime soon. When you look at the supply and demand, as long as the demand is high and supply is low, those prices are going to continue to go up and up and up. Okay, so if you're on the investor side of this thing, you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, this is good. And that is true. But, what goes up eventually has to come down. And so if you're over leveraged, you could find yourself in a pickle when this thing turns around. Okay. And for those that are sitting on the sidelines wondering, should they get into the market? It is very risky to get in the market now, because you're coming in at the top of the market, and this market has been, topping for the last few years. So it can only go so long before there's some sort of correction. Now, the last time we had a correction, that was all about the subprime mortgage rates or the mortgage mess. And while that is not the case now, it could be something else. It could very well be something that's not in the United States. There's something that can happen overseas that can cause a domino effect, whereby American real estate prices come tumbling down. So just a warning out there for the fellow investors of real estate to make sure you shore up your investments and make sure you're not over leveraged. All right. Hey, that's all I got for you. I appreciate you joining me. For other tips like this, you can find them on my Facebook page, which is at F3 Millionaire Mindset, and also the YouTube channel. Just do a search for F3 Millionaire Mindset, and it'll pull up my channel. I ask you to subscribe to it. That way you get pinged every time there's new content. All right. Hey, if you got any comments, do leave me your comments, your questions, and I will answer them as fast as I can. All right. H2 signing off. Thanks, and have a great day.